get to the senior day stuff, just how badly did this team need a performance like this to go into the Big Ten tournament? How badly did you need to see them play well over the last 2 games?
Real bad. We just needed to play well. I mean, we needed to share the ball and find the open player. And what was interesting is that Indiana, who played man against Maryland, so I mean we're the same kind of size. But you would think that they would do the same thing with us, but they played us zone and they do the same thing again, except for a few minutes. So it's really difficult to tell how people are playing us, but 90% of the people that are playing us in a zone, which means that you don't score as much generally. You have to take a lot more time to execute, and you've got to knock outside shots in order for them to open it up, which even begins to accept or allow you to attack the inside. So I was glad in that respect that they played it that way. But you also saw us go to a small lineup because that was creating a problem with us having bigger players. And so it was good to see who it is and how we can run an offense with people that normally aren't in those positions. So that was good.
You've had 30-something senior classes in your career. What, obviously their story's not done, but what do you think the legacy of Syessence, Christa, Betnijah, this group will be?
Well, what I was saying to them, which is true, I've coached many classes and many classes who have had a tremendously bright season. By the end of the season, they know that they're like a first or second draft choice and or a seed. But this is the greatest class, and I think that this is the greatest class that is really and has given everything that they possibly can. And when you do that, everyone can be at peace. If I were selecting 20 of the greatest players that I've coached, and I've coached 40-some years, they would be there because they're not losers. You know, they've maxed everything. Every day that they come to practice, they work hard, and they're selfless. They're willing to give of themselves. It doesn't matter how many minutes they get or what they have to do, whether it's rebounding, playing great defense. They epitomize what it means to be team, truly team. All they want to do is win. And it's one thing to say that, you know, when you see that in a game, but the character of who they are is revealed more in practice and in all the years and every day, whether we're talking about two days or whatever, every day they bring it. And so no coach could ask for more from Essie and Betnijah, as well as Chris. So to me, this is the greatest class that's gotten the best for themselves, and that's the best. And the only thing I can do is hope and pray. I just want them to reach the highest levels of success. I know that they're going to be extremely successful outside of life, and I'd like them to smile and dance, you know, on the floor, on the basketball floor. And so I would hope that everyone else gives them, the rest of our team gives them the kind of accolades and the welcome to basketball at the highest levels that they deserve.
Coach, you guys were able to force Indiana into giving the ball up 19 times, got 19 turnovers. Not only that, you were able to score off those turnovers quite frequently. You know, how big is that when you're able to take control of the game that way, not just scoring on your own offensive possessions, but being able to force them into making mistakes and then make them pay for it?
Well, the last part of the statement is probably the most significant, because we force people into 36, 20, and 25, and 26 turnovers. We've done that, but we haven't been pleased with the ability to convert, and so that probably the most significant part of that statement is in converting, you know, those turnovers into points, because that's one of the big things that we must do. I didn't look at that stat, but it looked better than it has, and that's what we'll continue to work on. We really didn't press. Believe it or not, we really didn't press. We normally would take a 55. We really didn't press. It was just being a little bit more aggressive in the backcourt, but that didn't happen. And the reason for that is we wanted to see what would happen, how we can not expend energy, you know, in the backcourt, but that we would really work harder. What was significant about what we did today is that we took all switches 1 through 5. So that meant that what you saw is you even saw a center on a guard. the importance of us being able to do that, and the importance of us being able to execute with 5 guards. See, that's what happened out here today. That's why a few times it looked like there was confusion because, for example, Essie, and it speaks to her flexibility, she's normally, the point guard. Well, all of a sudden she becomes the power forward, and you have to be smart. And she and Aja, they're smart. And we were able to do those kinds of things. And it was good to see Tyler begin to knock some shots down because, quite frankly, I think that you're going to see that 90% of the time we're going to win what we call, and has been said, the big 3. And that's Kalia, Betnijah, and Tyler. If they're hitting shots, then we have a great chance of winning. And I say that because 2 things. One is the posts have begun to show up. That hadn't been happening last year. So the posts together are averaging double-digit scoring and double-digit rebounding. That was the missing element before. And as soon as Rachel is back, I'm hoping that she's going to be able to return to the person she needs. Well, you have to keep in mind, too, that Essie is and has been cited as probably the person who has the greatest impact that doesn't score a lot of points. She causes us to win or lose. And so that distinction goes with people that are from UConn. It's going with Baylor, it's going with Notre Dame, and that means that she is the ultimate point guard in that she has many more assists than she has turnovers. So when you have that element, we tighten it up on the defensive side of it. We have the big 3 that's scoring, and we have that kind of consistency. Then we have reason to be look forward to things in a very bright way.
For the 2 seniors, one at a time, Betnijah and Essie, just your emotion there on the way out. Betnijah, I think you took a bow, and Essie just saying goodbye there at the end when you checked out, and then I guess when you had the microphone too. What's your emotion like?
I was just happy, grateful that we had all the support that we had, and that bow. It was just, to show my appreciation.
For me, it was exciting because we were having a lot of fun on the court, and of course everyone wants to go out with a bang. And I felt like today we did. We played really hard. The game was really exciting. We pushed the ball. We played our game, and of course everybody wants to leave on a good note, and I felt as though we did. So I was pretty happy, and I was tired.
I guess both of you too. My other question would be, sometimes senior day can get emotional before the game even starts. With what you both do.
Well, it was for me. I'm very sensitive, and they know that. So they were like joking in the locker room, like, "Naj, don't cry, don't cry." And I'm like, "I'm not gonna cry. Like, I got to. I ain't gonna cry." And it just, my emotions just took over me, and but it was happy cries.
Say how important. I guess
because Essie's not emotional at all. She doesn't show her emotions.
Well, that's not true. I guess my question is the circumstances of the game. How badly you guys probably needed to play well and get the win. Did that help you guys focus on the game too?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think it was just a little bit of everything. Us needing this win, like from a standing standpoint, Sorry. And then just it being our senior night, and like everybody wants to win their senior night. It's your last game at home. I'm gonna just stop now because
don't like you. But I feel as though it was more so just focusing on playing how we play, not so more on like senior night. Because senior night is just a night. At the end of the day, we came to play. So I feel as though we just took what was in front of us, and that was Indiana.
Betnijah, I noticed that you and Christa shared a hug right before you checked out of the game. What kind of things were you saying to each other as you prepared to exit the court?
Just I love you. I'm gonna miss you. Roomies for life. We need to, do our baking thing and just, things like that.
Tyler, what is it like to see, their journey kind of end and sort of you're going to be taking over as one of the leaders on this team? You already are. Next year you're going to have to step it up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. But what's the question? Like, how do I feel about them leaving?
How do you feel about them leaving and taking on sort of the burden as sort of a point person for the whole team?
Well, I'm kind of sad, but I'm not gonna get emotional up here. But we do have to find a way to feel what they did for us, which is going to be tough because Naj is double-double. Essie brings toughness on defense, and Christa's going to go in and do whatever she can do. So it's going to be tough, but, I mean, I feel like we could do it, but we definitely going to miss them a lot on the court.
So the mindset, we're talking about like the season's over. You got your biggest games to play. What's the mindset going into the Big Ten tournament, no matter what seed you guys are going to be? You feel like you could win this tournament?
Yes,
Most definitely. You know, today, you know, after today is over. No more senior night. It doesn't matter. It came and going. But once we, you know, step back on the floor, it's practice. We got to get ready for the tournament, whoever we have next. It's no dwelling on the past. We can't change that. We just got to keep moving forward.
Any other questions?
So, you talked a little bit about what your seniors brought to the table. What are your thoughts in terms of how the next group of ladies are going to come up and replace them?
I think that's hard. What I was saying to you is that there's no class that compares to them now, and that speaks volumes because we've already known we're in a Sweet 16, Elite 8. We've already known that. I've had lots of talented players, you know, and so. But what I'm saying that they bring that's extremely difficult to replace, and I don't know how you do that because they've been very consistent. Every day they're doing the little things that are making the big difference. They're always talking. 99% of the time they're talking, you know, so they're listening, they're keen with what has to happen. Anybody that they just want to win, and they will do what they need. Everybody says that they want to win, but few people pay the price. So they're going to pay the price on the defensive side of it. They're going to take blocks. They're going to do whatever they need to do. And you might have one or two people out of a class, but I should say never. How's that? Never is there a class. Although this is not a large class, but it's 3, and that's enough. Never is there a class where all 3 of them take on that particular personality. You got Olympians in Cappy and Tammy Sutton Brown and the young lady Okafor that was here before. I mean, we have had 3 Olympians. We've had many Big Ten championships. And think about it. If I was Big Ten Coach of the Year, I've had a lot of championships, right, in the Big Ten. So clearly other teams have distinguished themselves more in terms of, because it's not over. You know, the chapter's not over with them. Everything hasn't been written. We now know that we're going to be playing in the Big Ten tournament. And hopefully we're going to play in the NCAAs, and I trust that we probably will. So we've not written the end of that chapter. But what I'm saying to you is that it has been very clear when I've sat here senior night with other classes that, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, just because we've distinguished ourselves before. But this group distinguishes themselves more than any other class because this group, I can't look at one of them and say, wow, you know what, you gave me a half effort or you halfway played today. You know, when nobody is seeing it, everybody plays when the lights are on here and people don't even know, parents, family, they don't even know whether that person is giving everything. They are selfless. They just want to win. And these are the kind of people that you are going to want to go to war with all the time. And so if nothing else, sometimes when things are tough, and I said to Coach Newton, one of my former players, and Coach Jackson, they were 2 people that, you know, a coach always hones in. They see the images of certain players when they come to practice. Those players will inspire them, especially in the difficult times, But when, and so you always look at those players that you really feel that they're never going to let you down, you know? And that means that no, they might not hit every shot. No one can. They're not perfect. But one of the things I guarantee you is that they're never going to let me down. I've never been disappointed in them. I could be upset if there's a decision that may be made on the floor, but that has nothing to do with the great effort. And so I can't say enough. This is the greatest class that gave the most of themselves, and that's as good as it gets. And that's all I can say to you.
I see. I mean, Coach talked a little bit about how you're sort of the underrated player in some respects. Everything you do isn't on the stat sheet, and certainly one of the more energetic players that I've seen this season. Can you talk about the mentality that you bring to the floor and how how you approach that role, because a lot of people, everybody wants to score, everybody wants a big number, but it takes a certain mentality for someone to be that sort of, you know, unknown player in a lot of respects, but also very critical.
I feel as though it starts at home. Because at home, I'm like the middle child, and I have like the middle child syndrome. Like, I get in trouble for everything. Everything goes through me. I have to like do everything that no one knows like what else to do. And I guess like when I come to the court, that's just how it is. Like, a lot of times people don't see it, but when Tyler's like having an off game, I get into it like, T, come on, we need you. And sometimes people don't know how to come to each and every player. Like, when I talk to Naj, I can be a little bit more aggressive. And sometimes people are like, oh, why are you talking to me like that? But like, you have to know each and every player. And sometimes people just come off one way to every single person. And as a point guard, you have to know your players. And for me, I know that if she's not the best defender, so I know that I'm going to have to help her more than I help Naj. I know Naj, she likes to run, so I got to get it up. Kalia likes to run. Rachel likes her passes like right above her forehead. Like AB, she has to be all numbers right in front of you. Christa, she giving you all numbers. She likes sometimes lead passes. Like, you have to know your players. So it's like, far as that go, Coach Strink, like, just like as I have to know my players, I have to know my role. So I'm not so much of a scorer because I do the dirty work. I'm the garbage player. Anytime someone messes up, hey, I'm here to clean it up. Someone beat you, I got you back door. Like, I'm always there to help, and I kind of feel like it starts at home for me.